Hey guys, Editing Jenna here. Just a little bit of a quick announcement before we head into today's video. School is really kicking my ass this term. So for that reason, videos are not going to be coming out every single Friday like I promised. They might be coming out once every other Friday, but more likely than not, they're going to be rather sporadic when they do come out. But hopefully by the end of April, beginning of May, I'll be on break for the summer and I can get back onto my every single Friday schedule and hopefully stick to it. But I just wanted to tell you guys what's going on because I know you guys haven't seen me that often. So without further ado, let's hit that intro. Hey guys, it's Jen, and today I am answering 50 questions that I've probably never been asked. I found this off a website. I'm not sure whether or not it's a YouTube tag. The website says it is, but I've also never actually seen it before, so I'll put the link in the descripciones, and you guys can check it out, maybe do it for yourselves. So I'm thinking let's jump right into it. What is your favorite candle scent? That's kind of hard. I love candles and I love scented candles, but I think my favorite scent is like vanilla cinnamon. It smells really, really good. What female celebrity do you wish was your sister? If I had to choose, I would probably go with actually a YouTuber, and her name is Amanda Faye. She's married to Matthias. They have a beautiful daughter together. She's just a really cool person, and I just wish that she were my sister because, like, she would give me great fashion advice, and she's really into, like, healthy living and stuff, which is something that I'm personally trying to get into. What male celebrity do you wish was your brother? You know, I might just go down the YouTuber route again, and I would probably pick Markiplier. He just seems like a really awesome person, and he does all these great things for charity, and he's someone I already look up to, and it would be awesome, to have him as a brother, especially since, as I am trying to get into, YouTube myself. I've been doing this for like a year and a half now. It would be great to have like his advice and guidance. How old do you think you'll be when you get married? Well, for about a year of my life, I thought I was probably going to be like 24. But as reality is sinking in, I'll probably end up being closer to like 27, 28, 29 when I get married. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, I really want to spend my 20s exploring the world, getting to know myself, and really figuring out who I am as a person before I get tied down to, having a spouse, having kids, sort of thing. Although I do want to get married in the future, and obviously I'm not saying like, oh, I'm not going to date at all within this time. I just also want to have time where I'm more free and not tied down by like my career, my husband, and my kids. I want to be able to pick up and go to France if I wanted to go to France or something like that. So yeah. Do you know a hoarder? My dad's mother could be considered a hoarder, although probably not to the extent you've seen on TV, but like she'll save all her tea bags so that she can reuse them when she used to make tea. She'll save takeout containers, thinking she'll use them again. She never does. Kind of that sort of thing. But she also grew up, well, she was born in the Depression era, but obviously she was influenced by her siblings and parents who saved as much as they could, so that because they never knew when they were gonna need something and not have it. Can you do a split? I used to be able to a long time ago, but nope, not anymore. And I am not going to try it for you guys because I am currently wearing skinny jeans and I do not imagine this going well at all. How old were you when you learned how to ride a bike? I don't remember for sure. I was probably 5 or 6 when I learned how to ride a bike without training wheels. Um, Although that's a question I should probably ask my father. I do know that when both my brother and I were learning how to ride a bike without training wheels, there's this one neighbor and they have a brick wall that probably comes up to like the average adult's knee. And both of us, the first time we were riding on our own without training wheels, ran straight into that wall and cut our knee open. Never deep enough to need stitches, but my brother has a scar from it. I don't, though. I was lucky in that sense. How many oceans have you swam in? 1. Pacific Ocean. How many countries have you been to? I have not been out of the United States, not even to Canada. So, I mean, not counting my home country, that would be 0. Is anyone in your family in the Army? Actually, I have a cousin who was in the Marines and then he was in the Army for a while. He's not anymore. I don't really get to see him that often, maybe once every 4 or 5 years. So, to be honest, I'm not sure what he's doing, but he was in the military at one point. What would you name your daughter if you had one? To be honest, I haven't really thought much about children's names, but I did promise my dad that my first daughter would have the name Grace somewhere, probably as a middle name. And I really love classic first names as opposed to like the trendy first names. So probably something like Rose or Lily. Lily Grace actually sounds really nice. Maybe I'll go with Lily Grace in this case. What would you name your son if you had one? Now this one I know for an absolute fact what I would want to name my son, and I would want to name him Stephen James. What's the worst grade you got on a test? I have failed tests before, so an F. What was your favorite TV show when you were a child? When I was in elementary school, I loved PBS, especially the show called Liberty's Kids. If you guys remember that TV show, give my video a like and a comment telling me you remember it. As I got older, I really liked Hannah Montana and Jonas, that one show about the Jonas Brothers that got like 2 seasons. What did you dress up as on Halloween when you were 8? That is an oddly specific question. Probably Cleopatra, I think. Have you read any of the Harry Potter, Hunger Games, or Twilight series? I have. I've read all the Harry Potter books and all the Twilight books. I could never really get into the Hunger Games, though, so I didn't read that one, but my brother did, and he really liked it. Would you rather have an American accent or a British accent? Well, I have an American accent. A lot of people say that I have a really thick Midwestern American accent. I don't hear it as much, obviously, because I'm the one speaking, but I think it would be really cool to have a British accent. Did your mother go to college? She did. She went to Lawrence Tech University, which is a private school, and she studied business administration. Are your grandparents still married? If my grandfathers on both sides were still alive, they most definitely would still be married to my grandmothers. However, my dad's father died shortly after my aunt started her sophomore year in high school, which interestingly enough was the same high school I ended up going to. And then my mom's grandfather passed away this past September, as you guys remember from a previous video I did that I will link up in this corner. Have you ever taken karate lessons? Actually, yeah, I did. When I was probably 9 or 10 years old, I took like an introductory 6-week karate class just to learn, basic self-defense. So technically I'm a yellow belt in karate. I don't really remember most of the moves we were taught, but I do remember, the basic important self-defense things. Do you know who Kermit the Frog is? I do. He is a Muppet, the Green Frog Muppet. What's the first amusement park you've been to? Michigan Adventure, way up north. We used to go there every year when I was little, and there was like a real small kiddie roller coaster that I was obsessed with. And then my parents liked the train transportation ride. What language other than your native language would you like to be fluent in? Well, I always thought it would be cool to be fluent in French. Do you spell the color as Grey or Gray? Interestingly enough, I spell it as Grey, which is the British spelling, as I have found out. Is your father bald? No, he is not. He inherited his mother's hair. He has a beautiful head of salt and pepper gray hair. Um, and as he gets older, it's probably gonna turn to be white. Though if he inherited his hair from his dad, he would be bald right now. Do you know triplets? Actually, yes, I do. If you guys remember last week's video, link up here, I talked about this girl named Serafina who actually ended up winning the talent show, spoiler alert, and she is actually a triplet. So that's really cool. Do you prefer Titanic or The Notebook? I'm going to be completely honest. I've never seen The Notebook. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, blasphemy! But I have not seen The Notebook. I have, however, seen Titanic, and I absolutely loved it. So I'm just going to go and say that I prefer Titanic. Have you ever had Indian food? I have not. What's the name of your favorite restaurant? This is actually a hard one. I like a lot of restaurants. I'm not sure if I would say I have a favorite, but my favorite one in Ann Arbor is actually a Thai. My favorite place to get takeout from is Pizza House, but my favorite place to go with like my family is Cottage Inn. And to be honest, like I feel like Cottage Inn is kind of overrated. The original Cottage Inn, at least. It's very expensive and the food is kind of average, but it's the memories there that make me love it so much. Every Sunday, my dad and I go to Cottage Inn and we always get a small Mediterranean pizza and then some form of dessert afterwards. So, and I just really look forward to that time to get to hang out with my dad. Have you ever been to Olive Garden? I have a couple times when I was younger. I probably haven't been there since I was like in 5th or 6th grade though. Do you belong to any warehouse stores like Costco, BJ's? I do not. I don't really need to at this point in my life. What would your parents have named you if you were the opposite gender? Actually, that's kind of interesting. I would have been named Kyle if I were a guy. So, Kyle versus Jenna with one N. If you have a nickname, what is it? I have a lot of nicknames, the most obvious one being Jen. Not a lot of people call me Jen, actually, but my dad does, my 2nd grade teacher does, some of my family, like extended family does, but really none of my friends call me Jen, and none of the people like I know professionally call me Jen. Although I feel like as I get older, I might have to make the switch into having most people call me Jen just because of my unique name spelling. And then probably the nickname I get called most often by my younger brother is Poobie, Poobie. And no, I don't know how I got that nickname. It just kind of happened when he was really young and I didn't question it. And to this day, he is 15, I am 19, and he still calls me Poobie. And I just think it's really cute. And then, of course, I have a couple other nicknames like Jenna Doll, Jenna Pooh, who only my dad and my friend Spencer can get away with calling me. And even then, I get kind of annoyed by it. Who is your favorite person in the world? That is a horrible question. I don't want to pick a favorite person in the world. I mean, I love all my friends and my family. I can't pick a favorite person. But if I had to just sit down and say, like, okay, pick my favorite person, like, as a roommate or whatever, I'd probably end up picking my mom. She and I have always been close, but I feel like this past year we've gotten, like, especially after I moved home for a semester last year, we've just gotten really close, and we call each other every day and talk. So I probably have to say my mom. Sorry, Amelia. Would you rather live in a rural area or the suburbs? Another interesting question. I grew up in the suburbs, actually very typical suburbs, very upper middle class suburbs. But I do appreciate rural life as well. To be honest, I'm not sure. I think I'd go with a compromise and have like a suburban normal home, and then if I could afford it, a rural vacation home. That's kind of sort of what we have going on with my family currently, although our vacation home's on a lake and the neighbors are still rather close, but it's certainly not suburban. Can you whistle? Not very well. Yeah, I'm probably never going to do that ever again. Do you sleep with a nightlight? No, I do not. Do you eat breakfast every morning? Usually, no. Do you take any pills or medication daily? I do not. What medical conditions do you have? Well, that is a bit personal. Physically, I have severe patellofemoral syndrome in both knees, which is basically damage and breakdown of cartilage within my knees. And at this point, it's bad enough that it's not like an easy fix sort of thing. And I also have tendonitis in both knees. Gotta love those dance classes. And mentally, I have pretty well controlled depression and anxiety disorders. How many times have you been to the hospital? Um, Quite a few actually. I was in the hospital a total of 5 times. I'm not going to tell you guys why I was in the hospital each time because, quite frankly, that's none of your business. Have you ever seen Finding Nemo? I have. Where do you buy your jeans? The jeans I currently wear, I actually bought from Old Navy. Basically, all my current jeans are from Old Navy. They're just so comfortable. But before that, I used to buy jeans from Aeropostale, but they never fit right. I much prefer Old Navy. What's the last compliment you got? Well, as you guys can tell, I actually completely redid my hair since we last talked. And so I put pictures up on most of my social medias. And so basically all the comments were, oh my gosh, your hair looks so good. But I think the one that stands out most to me was actually from my aunt, my mom's sister. And of course, she started out by asking, what color is your hair? Because it's really hard to tell what color my hair is if you are not with me in person. My hair is actually mostly red with a purple tinge, though in like just your average kind of household lighting, it tends to look more on the purple side, but in like natural daylight, fluorescent lighting, that like really bright lights, it definitely appears more on the red side. And then in pictures, it just, you can't really tell what color it is. Like right now, I'm pretty sure my hair is showing up as mostly brown, maybe with a little bit of purple in it. So of course her first question was, what color is your hair? And so I told her what color it was. And then she went on to tell me that I am gorgeous and kind. So I don't know, that one just meant a lot to me. Do you usually remember your dreams in the morning? Usually I do. What flavor tea do you enjoy? Actually, there's this tea I have. It's lavender honey tea that I am just obsessed with. It is my go-to tea flavor. How many pairs of shoes do you currently own? Too many, and I want more. If I were to guess, I'd say probably about 20 pairs of shoes. What religion will you raise your children to practice? I would like to raise my children Catholic because I'm Catholic, but at the same time, I'm not gonna like force it down their throats. And like as they get older, I'm gonna give them the choice of whether they want to continue in the faith or try something of their own. But I am perfectly happy in my own faith. How old were you when you found out Santa wasn't real? I think I was like 11 or 12 years old, and I feel like that's kind of old. The final question is, why do you have a Tumblr? So obviously these questions were from Tumblr. I made my Tumblr when I was in high school. I want to say like a sophomore in high school because my friends were using Tumblr. I just wanted to see what it was about. And then I deleted my Tumblr last year. But I recently remade it and got it started again. And I do it now just to support, the people I love and, delve a little bit into the fandoms I am a part of. Actually, and I've made really awesome friends on Tumblr as well. So it's kind of a few reasons why I have my Tumblr. I don't really post much on it, but I do reblog a lot. So guys, that brings me to the end of this video. So make sure to like this video if you liked it. Comment down below any questions you guys might have for me, because they may make it into a future Q&A video, because at some point I would like to stop doing tags in order to have Q&A talky videos with you guys. And also subscribe to see new videos almost every single Friday. Hit that bell icon down below in order to be notified of when I upload videos. And of course, over here, I have a video that YouTube thinks you are going to like based off of your search history. And on this side, you can click on my face as well to subscribe to me. So, I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.